Good evening and a pleasant welcome to another edition of Like Talk Business on the Rahim Show. And as you all know, I'm your host, Ricky Ali. I want to welcome a viewer on Facebook and YouTube. I want to say thanks for always following our platform tonight. As you all know, Like Talk Business is designed to provide tips and business information to some of our business people to help them to, improve in whatever business they find themselves doing. So tonight, very exciting show. We want to welcome everyone who is watching the show, wherever you find yourself. I want to say welcome to the Rahim Show. And as you all know, I'm your host, Ricky Ali. We're going to dive in so many things tonight about business. And it's not just about somebody who is into business already, but also somebody who want to start a business can also take advantage of some of the information we're going to provide here to help you, because our job at the Rahim Show, especially with respect to the topic, is to help you succeed in whatever business you find yourself. So tonight, just stay back, stay tight, get a coffee, and we can flow tonight on our Rahim Show. I want to welcome everybody. We had a transmission problem earlier, but we are back. So everything is okay for now. And one of the things I ask business people, as you think about getting into business, or some probably maybe you're already into business, is you have to consider three important things and ask yourself these three important things. Are you a self-motivated person? You want to get into business, or you are already into business. Are you a self-motivated person? Are you resourceful? Or are you willing to take a calculated risk? Those are three questions you might want to ask yourself before you get into business, or if you are already into business. These are questions that you must ask yourself. So it's very important. And then one of the things for which more business people you see today that has been established is all around customer center. It's centered around customer. And the customers are the most important stakeholder of every business. Imagine going to the gas station, having somebody who have already built a gas station, and there is no car pulling into that gas station to buy the gas. Do you think that gas station is going to make money? No. That gas station is built specifically for car to go there and people feel the tent, right? So the people who goes at the gas station are customers for the gas station. So this is how the business is designed. So it's the same thing with any small business as a whole. Wherever you find yourself providing product or service, you are doing it needed to bring in customer, to make customer to come to your business. So you have to prioritize your customer. They are the most important people. Because without a customer, there is no reason of establishing business. There is no one who established business without, taking into consideration the customer that is going to come about the business. So it's very important tonight. So you have to ask yourself the three questions that I mentioned earlier before you get into business, or if you are already into business. Are you a self-motivated person? Because you have to push yourself. If you can't push yourself, you can't do business, because there are times business will come with a lot of, tough time. You might want to, you will run into losses sometime, because business also have time where you break even. So it's very important for you to understand these dynamics before you get into business, or if you are already into business. Are you self-disciplined? Are you self-motivated person? Are you willing to go through the high part of the business? Are you willing to take a calculated risk where you put in $100,000 and then you get the same $100,000 without no profit? Are you willing to go through that? I know a lot of people get into business to make profit. Yes, business is for profit making. but are you willing to take the calculated risk? Are you willing to, go through a lot of things? You got to ask yourself this question before you get into business. But then, if you already understand these things and you are willing to get into business, then now I can teach you some of these tips that will help you to succeed. So, once again, I want to welcome all of you who are watching the show on Facebook and YouTube, and also to some of my folks on TikTok as well. I want to welcome all of you for stopping by to be a part of our discussion tonight. Light Talk Business is actually designed to help business people, to succeed, and that is a goal at Rahim Show. We're here to make sure that we provide current information and tips, business tips that you can add already to your knowledge to build your business, because the goal here is to make sure that you succeed in whatever you do. So one of the things that I always tell people is the main thing we're going to prioritize today is changes. Changes take place. That's why you have to have the ability to adapt, because things are changing in the world today. There is no traditional, model of doing business anymore. They have different, model introduction of different, involvement or so. So you have to, adapt yourself to changes. If you don't adapt yourself, you'll be left behind, and your business will just be that old traditional business that you just have maybe the regular customer, and you don't have any room for improvement. That is why strategic, approach is very important in the business, because that's how you maintain the current customer and also make sure that you have more customer, because the more customer you have, the likely you have a market share and make more profit. And that's the best goal of business, to make profit. So it's very important that you take note. So for our viewer out there, stay tuned as we dive into some of these tips that will help you succeed in your business. So one of the things we're going to focus on today is customer. Who are the customer? Like I said, the customer are the most important stakeholder. Those are the people we open business for. If you don't open business for customer, then don't open business, because what the point of opening business? Are you opening business to just for a fantasy or what? No, you are opening business why? For somebody to come and buy. So those persons who come in, those people who are coming to buy from the business are considered your customer. So you got to be mindful and prioritize them, because they are the most important stakeholder. They are the one who bring money, and they are the one, by buying your goods, you get to get your money back and get profit. So they are the most important people. So the great way to succeed is actively listening to your customer and use the feedback to improve your product, services, or your overall business strategy. Why is this very important? It's because a lot of times you see most of the people who, like company, they ask you for feedback. Amazon will ask you, say, can you rate the product that you just purchased? The reason why they do that is because they want to see if the customer truly love the product, if there is a good, satisfaction from the product. And that's how they improve. If there is a way that somebody did not enjoy the product, they are able to improve on the feedback the person gives. It's very important. So that's why I said the customers are the most important people. And then we have to adapt to changes. Why do we adapt to changes? And you have to be resilient with the changes that comes. Because if you're not resilient as a business owner, I tell you, you'll be left behind, because there is no traditional approach anymore. Things are changing every day. New technology are evolving. So you have to follow. As the world moves, you have to move. You don't have to be stagnated to that traditional approach. So it's very important. So adaptability and resilience. The business landscape is constantly changing, like I said. So being able to adjust your strategy and a bounce back from setback is crucial, because, take for instance, if you are using a traditional approach and then something went wrong and you did not succeed, how can you bounce back? Will you still use the traditional approach? No. You have to adapt to change. You have to find out what was the reason why you did not get profit and you break even. So you have to change, the strategy or the model you use to be able to do that particular business for which you did not succeed, because the whole goal here is to succeed. So it's very important that you adapt and be resilient to your adaptability. Another thing here is customer focus. You have to focus on the customer. Why do you focus on customer? Understanding your customer need and providing excellent service and build loyalty and drive repeated business. Yeah. If you understand what a customer actually want, I got a couple of my friends. I can mention their name on my podcast. I got my man Sal, Roosevelt Sal. The guy always know his product. So he goes and come up with different, design, different, brand, because the point here is to create that unique selling, proposition that will trickle, most of his buyer and also people to be able to like his product. That's how you do it, because changes are taking place. You can't be accustomed to that, old traditional approach of business, I mean, you're going to be left behind because changes. That's why you have to be, adaptable and be resilient with your adaptability so that you can be able to succeed as a business person. So customer focus. Why are you focusing on customer? Because without a customer, there will be no business. Like I said, understanding your customer needs and providing excellent services build loyalty and drive repeated business. You want to be in the business forever. If you don't have customer, you will end up closing the business. You see a lot of stores today closing. When they are closing, the specific location that they are closing is because the store has a specific quota. They want to get certain amount of money every month or certain money because they have to pay the worker and obviously got to pay for the spot that the store is renting. So all of those things they are taking into consideration. If the store is not making money, they're going to close. So it means that there is no customer coming to that store for which the store is closing because no money. So it's very important how you adapt to change, and your customer focus is very important because you have to know what a customer actually wants. And if you do that excellently, and you have a strategic mindset to know what exactly that make the customer happy, I tell you, you will continue to stay in business. You will continue to stay in business. And another thing is financial literacy. This is where more people lack a lot of financial literacy. More people don't have knowledge. The requisite skill that they need to be able to get into business and maintain themselves. There are a lot of people who want to get into business, but I ask the question: are you financially disciplined? Are you willing to handle that money without any temptation that will come for you to take that money from the business? Because you cannot mix business with pleasure. If you are somebody who is so alluded to pleasure, please don't get into business because you're gonna certainly break that business down. You have to be financially disciplined, and financial illiteracy rather is very vital for someone who want to get into business. Because if you don't have the knowledge and skill to know how to manage his money, knowing that there will be time where business will be tough because you are taking a calculated risk of getting into business. Very important. So financial literacy, understanding key financial concepts and managing your business finances effectively is essential to your long-term success. Yes, you want to succeed. So understanding the financial components of the business, it will help you succeed. It will help you. It's a key concept. Managing your business finances effectively is essential. You have a long-term and a short-term goal. How do you manage this, time to be able to achieve these long-term and short-term goals? They are very important to you, succeeding in business. So, folks, I want to welcome all of you once again. For some of you who are following the show, please like, share, and make some comment. We highly appreciate you tonight. So another thing here is you have to set goal, and the QPR. QPR is always, is what we call the key performance indicator. How do you know that you are, when you go to work, right? At a job place, they have something called, performance appraiser. The performance appraiser is done. Some people will call it job dialogue. All depending on the company, the way the company is set up. Every company is set up different. So depending on how the company is set up, they would call it job dialogue. They would call it performance appraiser. Also it is based upon that. If a company have like for instance, employee of the month, employee of the year, based on your performance, when they look at that QPR, right, the indicator, they know that, oh yes, it's the same thing with business. The QPR is tell you the key performance indicator, the key, performance indicator, how the business is performing. All those things are indicators to tell you that the business is, is yielding something. If you don't check your key performance indicator, you won't know how the business is succeeding. So it's very important. So you set goal and QPR. You have your goal and you say, okay, I'm going to detect whether the goal is being achieved by my QPR, my key performance indicator. That's how you check to see whether the goal is being achieved. So define measurable goal and key performance indicator to track progress and make informed decision. Definitely. That's what I said. So you see, when you define your goal, this is my goal. In 2 years' time, I want to have this amount of money. This is your goal. And then how do you get to that goal? it will be determined by your QPR, your QPR, your KPI rather, your key performance indicator, your KPI, let's say key performance indicator, because it's going to be tracking that. Oh yeah, I'm making progress. I'm getting to my goal. I'm getting my goal. That's how you succeed. That's how you succeed. It's not a rocket science. It's not something that just happened for you to just get money. And money is not falling from heaven. You have to work hard. And if you are into business, you know what it means. You have to, make sure the customers are satisfied. There are some customers who will end frustration on you. That is why, my 3 years at Whole Food Market, Amazon, one of the values, the core values of Amazon, the customer is always right. When a customer do anything, because they don't want to lose the customer, they say, okay, I'm sorry, you lose, they make sure that they're trying to, I'm not saying it is a good things, in totality, but they make sure that the customer are well handled, because why? They want that customer to come back. The customer is satisfied, the customer is going to encourage more other people from the way they are being satisfied from your product or your service that you offer. So it's very important. So your KPI, rather, your key performance indicator will track your divine measurement goal, because you already have a goal that you measure. Okay, for this 5 year, this is what I want to get to, right? I'm going to use my KPI, my key performance indicator, to track to see what I'm getting, to my goal. And that's how you succeed in business. If you don't have all the knowledge, that's why I said financial literacy is very important if you want to get into real business. So prioritize customer satisfaction. And this is where I'm going to dive on mostly, like I said from the beginning. Prioritize customer satisfaction. Very important. If you want to get into business, after you have done your market research, do all your target market and know exactly what you want to sell, and what the customer needs. You finish doing all your planning, you finish well preparing yourself, you got the finances to start a business, you will have to prioritize the customer. I was in Liberia long time ago before I came to the US rather. So I used to work with my uncle, and we do more, the clothing business or so, and we deal with customer on a daily basis. And the way you treat customers, will determine how well that customer come back and bring more other people to buy. So it's very important for you to satisfy customer. Let's read something here first before I jump into a lot of explanation about customer satisfaction. Prioritize the customer. Go to the extra mile to exceed customer expectation and build lasting relationship. Make yourself to believe as a business person that your customer are your family member. You're taking care of them. So you are going an extra mile to exceed customer satisfaction and build a lasting. You want to build a relationship. That's why I love about Jeff, and not Jeff Bezos, but Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett said, go to bed, dream about how you're going to, come up with a product to meet your customer need. Go to bed, just take, some part of your night and just think about what can I do to make, if you are into business and you provide product or services, think about what can I do to help my customer. All of those things will help you make your customer happy, coming back consistently. Then they are the one who, because being satisfied with your product, they are able to encourage other people, and that's how you gain a competitive advantage on the market. What do you think Amazon are doing to make money? Amazon come up with a system, right? Where you order the product from them, and they say, okay, order this amount of money, then we waive the shipping fee. Those are all encouragement, because the more you order things and you get that shipping fee free, you want to pay the taxes. They are encouraging more customers. So the way in which they will deliver the product will help the customer to go back and encourage, oh, I bought this from Amazon, it was fast, it came on time. And they also make like, for instance, if they have a delivery day, they always make changes to the delivery day. Sometimes you may be expecting a product like maybe Tuesday and the product come Monday. They will say, oh, we are delivering fast. And all of those things are all meant to encourage customers. Oh, I bought a product, I was able to get it on time. It didn't come late. Because when you provide product, you have to be consistent with the time frame of delivery. If you're not consistent, you might die a natural death. And that is what happens if you don't have a good strategic approach into business. So prioritize your customer. It's very important. A successful small business is built on the combination of strategic planning, strong customer focus, and effective management. These three things are very central to your success as a business person. So you see, as a small business person, to succeed it come with a combination of strategic planning. And one of the strategic planning that is very important is how well are you planning? What are some of the things that you are putting into perspective to help make the business to grow or to fight your competitor? Fight your competitor doesn't mean a face fight, but what are some of the things you're doing so that the competitor will not come and steal some of your customer, like as well as those that are in the cell phone industry, like cellular, company. What are you doing? Some of them going to the extent of coming up with campaign, advertisement campaign, just to win people over, for another company. Buy this one and get, or you get 50%. Okay, you transfer. If you transfer from one company to another company, you get free phone. All of those things are campaign to win people. Because the more customer you get, the more money you make. So it's very important. So successful small business is built on a combination of strategic planning, strong customer focus rather, and an effective management skill. That's why I say financial literacy is very, very vital. So folks, it was just for a short time, and I wanted to encourage you that if you find yourself doing a business, please, business is not a traditional thing anymore. Be adaptable and be resilient. Changes are taking place in business today. People are not using, and there is no longer anyone who is using a traditional approach in business anymore. You're going to be left behind because changes, everyday technology are evolving. Things are changing. You have to follow that trend of the changes that are taking place. Be adaptable, very important, and prioritize your customer. Customer priority should be the almost number one things, because the business is established around customer. If the business is not established for customer, there is no business. Every business you see today, it has somebody who need that service or that product. Because without the customer, which is the important stakeholder of the business, there won't be no business. Very important. So, and then financial illiteracy, you have to know how to manage a business. You have to have control over money. If you can have control over money, you will not succeed. So just a short time on our show tonight, and I want to thank everybody who watched our podcast on Facebook and YouTube. Thanks for your support. Thanks for your like and your share. We appreciate all of you. I want to say thank you for always following our show. Until then, we'll see you next week. Good night.